So yeah, MOBAs are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. I feel like no one who plays console actually understands how great they are. It's no underestimation to say that MOBAs probably are one of the most popular game genres and are definitely one of, if not the most popular esport to watch. I just feel like console gamers don't realise how great MOBAs are, and yes, how great they are on console. So in this video I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you should play MOBAs even if you've only got a console. I'm relatively new to MOBAs, so I've been playing them since the turn of the year. I've got quite some time in, but the amount of time I've got in compared to most general MOBA consumers is still a little bit on the lower end. But playing MOBAs has completely changed the way that I want a game, and I play most of my MOBAs actually on console. I mean, I'm going to have to address the elephant in the room, and that is that there's not that many MOBAs actually on console. At the moment, you've only really got the likes of Smite, Predecessor, and Gigantic. They're kind of the only really big ones. Yes, there was Genesis, but it sadly died. But you can still play them and still have a great time, and the transition isn't as bad as you think it's going to be. The first reason why I think you should play MOBAs if you're on console is that it's a new challenge you've probably never played before. And if you like video games, you're going to be addicted to the challenge. When you think of really challenging or competitive games on console, you tend to lean towards a couple of categories. Firstly, fighters like Tekken or Street Fighter, or battle royales like Apex Legends or of course Fortnite, and then of course the shooters, Call of Duty. But a lot of console games are predominantly single player. And MOBAs are different, they're 5v5, they require a lot more knowledge going into it. And I think if you like a competitive multiplayer game on console, then MOBAs fit you perfectly. You will enjoy the challenge, you will enjoy the winning. But this brings us on to our second reason why you should play, but also something that's kind of also a bit of a warning and something you got to prepare for if you're actually ever gonna play a MOBA, which is that you're gonna get squished a lot, you're gonna get smashed a lot.
You can't win every game, or any in my case, you know how it is.
But the second reason to play MOBAs is that it actually helps you develop real grit. MOBAs are so complicated. You can spend 100 hours playing one character in a MOBA and still not really be a master of them. And when you compare that to games like Call of Duty, specific sports games like FIFA, when you've got 100 hours in, you've generally got a pretty good grasp of the game. MOBAs are different. They take a long time, probably longer than any other genre of video game on console, to even be decent, not master, to just have a base level of ability. But the learning curve and the time it takes to master shouldn't scare you, because it teaches humility. When you've been beaten hundreds of times and you still want to keep playing, that's because you've developed grit and you developed the ability to look inside and be like, I'm gonna keep going, alright? I've been getting smashed, but I'm getting that little bit better every single time. And I found that even though it's taken me a long time, and even though the big MOBAs are crossplay with PC, and I've struggled a little bit, that I developed this grit which allows me to just take a step back and go, yeah, I'm still learning, and I'm going to be this way for several more hundreds, if not thousands of hours, but that's okay, because I'm still enjoying it, and let's just go. Reason 3 is that you can still be competitive to some level on console. A lot of these games are crossplay like Smite, and a lot of people are going to think, well, why would I even bother playing if it's going to be crossplay with PC and they're just going to absolutely smash me with a mouse? Yes, these type of games are easier to play, but most actual competitive games that are crossplay, you will find PC gamers are better. Even if that's Call of Duty or Fortnite, they're always going to have that advantage on you because of the keyboard and mouse setup, but that doesn't mean you still can't win, have a good time, and be competitive in every single match. Now, I'm not saying you're going to become a pro without transitioning over. You can compete at the level that you're at. If someone kills you and they're the same level as you and they're on PC, it might not be because they're a PC gamer, it could be other things, other skills, other tactics they've used to beat you. I've played hundreds of games of Smite where there's been PC gamers in and we've won. I've also played hundreds where we've lost, but I don't think ever that it's to do with the PC side of it.
Oh my god, we won! Legit! Wait, did we? I think they surrendered. Lol.
If you were to get deep in, really deep in, and commit thousands of hours, then yeah, when you get into that high level, then these sort of things may make a difference, but you may just transition over anyway. Being crossplay with PC should not put you off, and you shouldn't think, because I'm playing on a console, I'm using a controller, I can't be competitive in a MOBA situation, because I 100%, I'm telling you, I guarantee you can, to continue learning the game, getting better yourself, and don't worry about that sort of thing. So our next reason is it improves your decision making. I'm quite an advocate for saying that video games do improve skills that can be transferred outside of video gaming. Yes, they can also just suck up your life, and they can be used as a vessel to escape from facing your real problems, of course they can, but they can develop a lot of strong skills. Most shooters create great awareness reaction time, but I would say no other genre of gaming has ever improved my reactive, immediate decision making like MOBAs. There's so much going on the screen. You've got yourself, you've got the minions, you've got the towers, you've got your abilities, you've got your builds, but then you're going up against somebody else, and you have to make that immediate decision as to whether or not it's worth pursuing, running away, helping out your team, and through excessive exposure to these immediate quick decisions you have to make constantly, which are based on actual knowledge, not just responding to what's in front of you. You're responding to what's in front of you and what's around you, and the knowledge that you have of the game, your builds and their builds. It sounds really complicated, but this stuff all happens at once, and the better you get at it. And I do think it creates the situation where you just continue to get better at making decisions. Number 5 is that despite MOBAs looking like everyone just plays the same game mode, which usually is the case, there's actually so much variation in MOBAs that looking in, you can't see until you actually play them. No game is ever the same. There's always so many characters to choose from, and you're facing up against so many different characters, but you're playing against 5 people with 4 people on your team. All of them are going to be playing different, trying different things out. Everything is constantly dynamic and changing, and it just means that every game feels so different, despite the fact that you're actually maybe using the same character for 20 games. It just means that every game you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know what challenge you're going to face. Are you going to face an incredibly skilled player who just pushes you back and slaps you? Are you going to be playing someone who's the same level, but they're using a character you think you can push? It really gets you thinking, and it allows you to experience so much from not only one game, usually one game mode. Number 6 is that in MOBAs, when you win, you goddamn win hard. I've never played a game with such ups and downs as MOBAs. Games with such a rewarding taste of victory. You work so hard. The games are usually longer than most other multiplayer types of games. You know, the average Call of Duty game, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know, I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a couple of years, but back in the day, you know, it wasn't that long. Whereas MOBAs on console, in my experience, they tend to last from 20 to 50 minutes, depending on, of course, what's going on. So it means that when you commit that amount of time, when you pull off the win, it is like euphoric. I personally believe I've never really gotten that feeling from any other type of video game. I come from playing loads of single player games predominantly up until I was like 20, 21. I didn't really get into multiplayer games until the last 4 or 5 years, but now I'm on MOBAs. I'm like, these don't compare to how good it feels to pull off a win in a MOBA. Not even a win. When you're in a situation where you actually end up winning a 2v1, or you jump and save someone on your team, or you allow them to create a massive play, you just feel like a goddamn badass. But you know what? Play 25, 30 games of Smite, come back to me, and you will know this feeling. And you'll be like, yeah, Black Bro, you're right. The final reason why you should play MOBAs on console is that they really put your intelligence to the test. These games are strategy, but there's so much more, of course. When you break them down, strategy is a massive part of these games. The MOBAs on console, the big ones, Predecessor and Smite, these are third-person, over-the-shoulder games. They require a lot of skill and execution as well, but when it comes down to it, you can be the most skillful player, you can have the best reaction times, you can have the best ability to time your attacks and move around and evade, but if you don't understand the game, then you will lose every time. This game rewards people for playing more and also learning what's going on in the game, learning the characters, learning how to build correctly for yourself, for your character, and against other characters and against whatever's happening in a dynamic game that is a MOBA. I've played so many strategy games. I love RTS games, and those are obviously massively dependent on your strategy and your execution and timing. Again, this is a real-time strategy game where you control the character. As I've said, they improve your decision making because you've got to make so many intelligence-based decisions in the game that it really gets your brain really working, and I don't think a game's ever tested me as much as MOBAs have. That's the honest truth. Yes, I've played difficult games that have tested me more, but MOBAs are difficult in a different way. They're not difficult because of their actual upfront difficulty, it's because of everything that's going on and having knowledge of certain things and when to apply and act on certain things, and it is just a wild ride. If I've convinced you as a console gamer to play MOBA, let me know down below, and if you're going to start one, I'd recommend you just start Smite. Smite 2 is out very soon, but get your foot in the door, have a little bit of a blast, get ready for Smite 2, have a good time. And I just quickly want to say, if you're a PC gamer who plays MOBAs watching this, what would you say to someone who mainly plays console and wants to get into MOBAs? What advice would you give them? What would you share? I'd love to know what you have to say. Alright, peace.